Yeah, it's just like
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, so the whole topic. Hello.
Howdy.
Folks, quiet if you're not me. Thank you. The whole topic today is on competitor profiles, competitor research. So this is put together similarly to the customer vignette, but it's focused on your competitor instead of your customer. And some main things you want to think about: do your competitors vary by segment? So if we think about the drone project, for example, the competitors that you have in the ag sector may or may not be the same competitors that you have in the oil sector or in some other sector. There may be completely different competitors. Same thing for some of the apps. As we start getting out and talking to other potential companies besides Tejon Ranch that might want to use the same technology, we may find that there's applications that are relevant for one type of not-for-profit or one type of zoo or wildlife preserve that are not for another. So could be different by each segment. And again, substitutes. So it may be that the oil business, uses satellites instead of drones, and they're okay with that because the cost is shared across like lots and lots of expenses and fixed costs for the oil business. So they get basically free satellite time because they're paying for the satellite for deep sea. I'm making this up, but maybe, I don't know about the oil business. Maybe they use it for deep sea exploration, so they already get free time off the satellite. That's a substitute as opposed to a direct other drone that's competing with you there. So think about what your substitutes are and whether the competitors vary by segment, and then what do you need to know about them. So I want you to be able to tell me first and foremost just general image and impressions about what is that competitor rather and their product all about. What are the main features and benefits of their product? What promotions are they offering in particular? So are they offering, buy X by this date and we'll give you 20% off? If we talk about the irrigation project for a second, excuse me, I'm sure you guys will find eventually that the existing software vendors that currently serve the agriculture sector, eventually they will probably be your competitors because they have their software set up so that it has a certain amount of interaction with the farmer. And if you take the farmer out of that, they've been sort of replaced by a new type of software. So you may find that they offer, $5 instead of 5,000 if you just upgrade and stick with the same package for the next model rather than switching. So you may find that they have certain promotions to try and keep their current customers locked in. Same basic principle for everything else. For Baywatch, certainly, I want to know where people are buying their swimwear, where they're buying their style wear in general. As soon as you expand beyond swimwear, where are they buying it otherwise, and what are they offering? Are they offering a sale by the end of the summer? Are they offering 2 for 1? I want to know what kind of promotions they're offering. So different for different ventures in here, but all of them I want to know about promotions. I want to know basic price, and I want to know which advertising media they are advertising on. And then that is relatively similar to what you wanted to know about the customer. Where it diverges is I want to know what their major strengths and weaknesses are as a competitor. So do they have an existing customer base that's larger than yours? Probably, since in this class we're talking about new ventures that don't have customers yet. So every competitor that you have is going to have an existing customer base compared to you. Do they have large financial resources? That can be a problem as well. And do they have certain product or service niches that they're really strong in as opposed to others? And finally, for this profile, I want to know, how are you going to differentiate yourself from them based on what they offer and what their strengths are? So this is kind of what the profile looks like when it's all filled out. This is an example from a couple years ago of basically a real estate brokerage company that my students back in Cincinnati were creating, and one of their competitors was a company named Everest. So you can see here, segment, the specific product and service. We've got some information about image here, and then down at the bottom, very specifically, in this case, the company that my students were starting decided that they're going to offer shared services for small businesses, which is very, very different than niche, basically, than what Everest was offering. So I want to know, how is your venture going to be different than what the main competitor offers? Okay, finding information about competitors. I've actually got another webinar for you guys that I don't think is too long. I think it'll fit pretty well to just play it for you here in class rather than having you watch it afterwards. It goes over a lot of what I've got here. Basically, the punchline of all this is that you kind of have to do your homework, but you can find out a lot of information about competitors just by surfing around certain databases and surfing around Google. You can't find everything, but you can basically find out how many employees they have, what the names of the key officers of the company are, what their revenues are. You can find out some basic information on their credit history. If they're consumer focused in any way, you can usually get product reviews. So Baywatch is going to be able to get a lot of product reviews on other competing clothing stores. Not so much perhaps for drones. It just depends. Some of the apps that are more consumer focused are also going to be able to get good information from that. You can glean a lot of information just off of competitors' social media pages. I've got some great Google search tips in here. The webinar actually covers it a lot better than I can remember off the top of my head right now, because I sat down and really prepared the webinar to go over this topic. So we'll talk about some of those in here, but just FYI for all of you, I've got 4 different links in here that are really great tips on how to do a better Google search. And they work for all kinds of other databases that we have access to through our library as well. So these are some very basic tips. Some of the ones that I think are particularly impressive are, this life hack and digital trends. Great tips. The digital trends here, I think, has 35 different tips on how to search Google effectively. Stuff like did you know, for example, that if you, I do not want the ad. Okay. Did you know, for example, that you can't read it very well right here, but if you pull this up on your browser, you'll be able to see it fine. Did you know that if you put a minus in front of a word in a Google search, that Google will take out any page that has that word in it? So instead of getting 1 billion results, you've only got like 2,000 or whatever. Anybody know that? Yep. There's a lot of great tips in here on how to narrow down your Google searches to really find what you're looking for. So I encourage you, when you get to the point in the business plan deliverables that you have to do in this class to researching competitors, that you really go in, search on the name of the competitor, and then start narrowing down the search results with some of these Google tips. It's going to help you find a lot more focused information. Close that. Go back to the PowerPoint. Yeah, market positioning maps is next. So let me escape out of this and go to the webinar now. Okay, so for my next webinar, I want to go over just a couple things about
Can I see that okay?
excuse me, doing competitor research on both LexisNexis and Google. Again, I went through this stuff in class, but I'm not quite satisfied that I got to the level of detail that I wanted to. So just a couple things here. I'm going to use the example of a project that I had in my small business management class last quarter. Had several students working on finding more customers for Coconut Joe's restaurant and bar in Bakersfield. So one of the things that we want to do when figuring out the competitor profile is find as much as we can on both the size and the contact information, who actually is involved in working for this competitor, and then secondly, just looking for all kinds of information on Google. So LexisNexis is actually a great resource for finding some baseline information about how big a competitor is, both in terms of employees and revenues. Finding some basic contact information, figuring out the names of some of the people that work there, and sometimes you can find some interesting information about their credit history as well. So first of all, we'll go to the library website for Cal State Bakersfield. Go to the library there, and then articles and databases. I'm going to sort these by title so that we can find the letter L easily. Go down here and click on LexisNexis. Now, the first thing you want to do is actually go to Advanced Options and go down to Content Type, deselect all of these, and then just select Company Profiles and click Apply. Then you're going to go in and type the name of whatever competitor. So in the case of Coconut Joe's, one possible competitor for them is the Steak and Grape, another restaurant and bar in Bakersfield. So we're going to type in steak.
Yeah, you have to go through
grape
through CSUB to get there.
In quotes, so that we don't get every company that has either the name steak or the name grape in their title. We're just going to type that in quotes and then click search. And you'll notice we got two results here, one from Zoom Company and one from Experian. If we click on the Zoom Company one, open that up. Working on a slow internet connection today, so it's taking a little while. You'll notice we've got the basic address information, we've got the phone number, we've got the website address. For larger competitors, this isn't all that useful information, but a lot of times when you're looking at a very small niche competitor, you can actually find their contact information here. You can also find how many employees they have. In this case, according to Zoom Company, it's 12. You can see their revenues, which is about $2.4 million. You can see a tiny bit of a description. Sometimes these descriptions are bigger, sometimes they're smaller. And that's about all we got from Zoom Company. But at least we got some basic information on revenue, employees, and then contact information. There's also a link here that can take you to company contacts. I'm actually going to show another place, though, where we can get company contacts. If we go back here to the search results and go to the Experian report, open that up, and wait for the internet again. You'll see here contact information again. In this case, their website is not here, but
the website, just more information about the company. There's the phone number of the company again. In this case, they say there's 26 to 50 employees, so a lot of times, depending on which database and which competitive research company you use, you're going to get slightly varying numbers for the numbers of employees and the revenues. However, you're not going to find 12 employees and then find 1,200, these will tell you whether we're talking about a company that has a couple dozen employees or has a couple hundred employees or has a couple thousand. That's the level of specificity that you can get from some of these resources, but at least gives you a ballpark of how big they are. Here you can see the name of the CEO or president, Steve McGowan. Again, description a little bit. You got revenues here. You've got a lot of information, interesting information about their credit history too on Experian. So you can see how many times they were late with various accounts. So looking good on all these. A couple accounts here for just their payments in general. So trade payments look good, but some of their other bill payments have been banned a couple times. You'll notice here these are quarterly averages for their payment history. Looks like they've got some kind of a filing against that.
If it's a sole proprietorship, it'll usually list the name and contact information of the owner. You may not get any more than that about, like, demographic information or whatever, but you will get the name of the owner and, like, phone number, email address.
From 2013, not quite sure what it is, but you could take this number and look it up. So it doesn't give you a ton of information, but it tells you a lot more than you used to know about sometimes really, really small competitors that you otherwise don't even know where their office is or how big they are or anything. So some good basic information. The second thing I wanted to go over is just doing a search on Google for more competitive information. So we just go to Google and type in the same thing, steak and grape, in quotes. You'll usually not have too hard of a time finding the company's website address. Great place to find competitive information on your competitors by just browsing their websites. You'll see their Facebook page here. You'll see a lot of pages like Yelp and TripAdvisor, Groupon that give reviews, basically. This is going to be more common in your search results for consumer companies like restaurants or clothing stores or something than it is in other types of competitors. But you'll find all kinds of different results that give you more information about what people have said about the company in the past, what they like about them, what they don't like about them. Sometimes you'll actually see the names of people who have made these comments too. On the Facebook page in particular, you'll also be able to see who's liked the page. You can actually then go in through Facebook and go to the Facebook pages of those people who have liked the steak and grape, and you can look at their lists of friends and see if you have anybody in common. You may actually be able to steal customers for some of your competitors by finding out who their customers are on Facebook and then seeing if you have any common friends. So that's another interesting thing for competitive research. The last thing I wanted to say here is obviously, just like one of my other webinars, we've got 12,500 results on the steak and grape. So not all of these are what we want. You'll notice here, Texas Reds Steak and Grape Festival. This is actually a festival in Texas about wine. So if we want to put in the minus term again and take out Texas, that actually increased our results. Not what we wanted. 12,500, and then why don't we try minus Texas Red. I don't know why this is not working, and I'm recording this webinar right now, so I can't take that back. But anyway,
I still don't know why that didn't work.
you should be able to put the minus sign in and have that. Oh, that's perhaps why. No, that's not why either. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is most of this webinar. I'm not pleased that the tail end didn't work well, but the stuff that I wanted everybody to learn is pretty well organized there. I got to go back in and find out why that minus Texas thing didn't work. But in any case, this is basic information that I wanted people to know on how to do searches of your competitors.
I did, though. I did sleep. And then I forgot that I needed to change it. So yeah, so just a little bit about how to do some basic competitor searches. I promise you the minus thing does work. Why it came up with more search results rather than less, I don't know, but I can tell you that did take out anything that had Texas in it. So that is most of what I wanted to go over today. The only other thing that I want to go over is market positioning maps, and for that, I think I will actually, for once, I will use the whiteboard for a second instead of the projector. So, pretty common concept that I imagine a lot of you have gotten in your marketing classes already, but this is simply taking competitors and comparing them on X, Y axes compared to different, considering different criteria. So you could have price and quality here, for example. The reason I don't want price and quality on different axes because that doesn't tell me something that I didn't already know. What usually happens when quality goes up? Yeah, so anything in a graph that has quality and price on two different axes is going to be somewhere on that line, and it doesn't tell me something I didn't already know. So if we had price quality on the same axis, however, and for example, consumer and business, then if we go back to the drone project for a second, depending on which competitors you guys come up with, I imagine some of the competitors are going to be the radio-controlled airplane companies that originally make the stuff before the engineers got it and hot-wired everything. So they are going to be relatively low in price, and they're going to be more focused on consumers, whereas the price may also be low, but your venture is going to be over here, more focused on businesses. So the main thing that I want in these market positioning maps is I want axes that are non-obvious. I want you to tell me something I didn't already know about you versus your competition. And I just put two bubbles on here to start with. You can actually have several different competitors that are all represented on the same map. You can also have different maps. So that one is price quality versus consumer and business. Some other common things are resource bases. So, maybe low and high capital. And we're going to have consumer and business again here, just like over there, but we're going to have it on a different axis this time. And perhaps you guys have relatively little capital to start out with, but you are here, and then perhaps the radio-controlled airplane companies are medium-sized, so they're going to be about here, and they're focused on consumers rather than business, etc. So point is, I'd like for you to develop more than one of these maps, and I want these maps to tell me something I didn't already know with as many competitors on them as possible. That and the profiles with the details about the competitors and how you're going to differentiate yourself from them, that is the biggest thing that I want for your competitor section of your business plan. That deliverable, which is going to be due in about 3 weeks or so. So your websites are due the end of this coming weekend. I am gonna extend the due date for customer outreach for 2 weeks instead of 1, because I'm gonna have to put you guys in touch with some contacts, and it may take a little while until they're available for you to talk to. So that means 3 weeks from this weekend is when this competitor thing will be due. And what I want you to do is basically put together profiles of each of your major competitors that look like this. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, here's where you need that now.
Now I'll open up. The only problem with turning the thing off and turning it back on is it takes forever for it to warm up. You know, it'd be nice if I could like turn it off, use the whiteboard, and then instantly have it come back on. Anyway, I want you to have several profiles that look like this, describing each of your main competitors for the product that your venture is focused on. And then I want a bunch of maps that kind of look like this. Okay? So you're going to have one map like that, and then another map, and you know, maybe you give me 4 different maps with different information, different axes on them, with each of the major competitors that are represented in these profiles and your own venture. The only other thing that I want to mention there is after you put these things together, I want a brief explanation on a separate slide or a separate page explaining what did the axes mean and why did you place each company where you did on those axes. So the axes may make sense to you, but I need you to tell me in words why you put the various competitors where you did. And that's pretty much it on competition. So I told you 4:45, Martin, and it's 4:44 right now.
Talk for another minute.
Huh?
I said talk for another minute, and you're not a liar.
Well, I could. I'll talk for one more minute. Here's what I want to say. So, I told you guys about the. It's more of an announcement than teaching, but basically, I have in total, like I told you guys, I have 1/6 more or less. Actually, it's more like 1/10 of my job is this class. I have a total of about 140 students. I'm just got done going through all of the professional development plans of my first class of the day. I'm starting to go through your guys now. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to send them back to everybody with what I want you to do. And then, like I said, I only will give you feedback on your personalized entrepreneurial career plan if you want it. If you want it, that's fine. I will be happy to give you feedback on it. I just only have so much time to go through these things each week, and I didn't want everybody to be waiting for me to grade things. So if you turned it in on time, you got full credit. If you want my feedback for your actual career future in entrepreneurship, just let me know, and I'll be sure to do that for you. I should have the professional development plan markups done within the next week or so, too. And see y'all later.
Did you guys start any phone numbers for contacts?
I talked to my dad tonight. He just got back from town.
I have my list. Can I just email it to you guys?
Email it to him.
Okay.
I have like a list of just like how many other group homes and group homes and that, but I didn't like
Came in late. I don't know.
Yep, I got you.
All right, cool.
I got you.
Hey, traffic.
That's okay. If you're late, there's a circle.
Uh-huh.
If you're not here, there's an X. So whenever I see people come in, I just put a circle.
Coming in late takes off points or something, right?
It's only, yeah, I mean, you get 1.75 instead of 3.33. So you lost like a point and a half. It's not a lot.
I'll have to start leaving at 2 now.
It's not that many points. I just try to be fair to the people that are here outside. Aziz, what's up? I think you were next.
I just have a question. Just take a picture of it and email it to me. Take a picture of it and email it to me.
Yeah, you can do the survey still. No problem.
Okay, so we started on the website.
Yep.
I had a few questions for Ashley to ask her about it. So, do you want to be in the meeting whenever we give her a call and talk to her? No, it's okay.
No.
And
I'll
then-
talk to her anyway. Like, I'll just call her at some point and explain to her
Because
how I
she
want the
needs
project
tell
to run.
us what she wanted, and then we also need those photos to put on there and stuff. So we already have. Did you want to see like the website before it's due on Sunday to kind of give us feedback?
If you've got something that is feedbackable, I think actually I just looked at it and there's not much there. So
Did you look at it today?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
I looked at it right
yeah,
before
because we
the
don't
meeting.
have like we don't know what else to
Yeah,
put
don't
on there.
just talk to Ashley, get as much done as you can by Sunday, and then I'll
Okay.
just give you my comments after that.
Okay, that sounds
Okay.
good. And then also on the crowdfunding site
Yep.
on Indiegogo, I seen that you made
need the
comments on there.
government budget.
So did you?
Oh, I
what
forgot I
was-
did go in and do that.
Yeah. So what was on there before? Like, did you want that all up, and then what's on the website now? Transfer that over,
Yes.
right? Okay, that's what. Okay,
Yes.
I just want to make
So
sure.
the comments were
The
from
comment-
6 months or
Okay,
9 months
so just
ago.
take those all off and okay, transfer
Yes.
it. Got it.
Got it?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Faisal, what's up?
I just want to meet with the
specifically
rules,
to
and I just
FFA,
emailed them. Nobody
which is
responded.
Foster Family.
Which group? It's the
Games.
Pokemon.
And how much of
I'll
that
make sure. Where did they
money
go? I think
goes
they're already gone now.
specifically to group
I'll make. Let me on Thursday. I'll make sure to put you in touch with them at the beginning of class.
Yeah, I want to
Okay?
see the faces and all the touch of them.
Yeah.
Because we behind the chart, so yeah, I want to get everything done. So
Yeah. Beginning of class Thursday.
foster family agencies,
And how much of that specifically goes to group homes?
group homes.
California or the
I'll do that first thing, just like I did with Trisha and Lance today.
because I know guys this person I want to show.
Well, find California and
Thank
find
you.
That's
San
okay.
Joaquin
So,
Valley and find Curry County.
I'm just looking here.
Because each one gets a little bit
Gang
smaller.
has not
San
been here the
Joaquin,
last couple times.
And then also Kirkland.
Bernice. So Matthew usually sits right next to you. He's the one that's right there. And Bernice is right next to him. So the two people right there are the ones you need to
What
talk
you're
to.
doing is part of.
But I'll make sure to tell them on Thursday too. Okay.
It's part of what he
Cool.
talked about today.
I'll call Matthew.
The money
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
not
But
going
if you have his
to-
number, then call him. He's one of your teammates. Jonathan, what's up?
So we want to find out how
Tonight,
we can
pretty
take
much
money
same
away
thing.
from them.
Is there any way? Basically, they repaved the surface in front of my house.
Yeah. Go
That's
ahead.
why
You
I
wanna-
need those
you wanna
numbers.
miss it?
And I had to
Thank
ride
you
my
very
bike
much.
to school today, and I would have
Right?
to ride back and come back in the dark.
No. Fine.
Is it okay
Yeah.
if I miss tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to miss anything too.
No. You're not missing anything big.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Even if it's
No
a
problem.
family-run
No problem.
business down the road.
Hey, and by the way, I've almost done. I recorded a little webinar, about 2.5 minutes, just with my comments on the website. So I'm going to send you guys a link to it. I like point to various things and just say on the just like this, except I'm looking at the website and like, okay, change this,
Cool.
and I'll send that to you guys later.
Sweet. We'll get working
Cool.
on it.
Okay. Later on.
Good job. Trying to do for business. It's not busy work. Yeah, come upstairs.
Bye, Jen.